Hey, great day, y'all. So if you want to launch a digital product for 2025, I'm going to be sharing with you 4 things that I would do to launch a digital product from scratch for the new year. So let's go ahead and tap in. Hey, great day, y'all. So you will be joining me on my car chit chat. It is Small Business Saturdays. It is right before December 1st, and I am going to pick up some items for my kids that I ordered online. But I thought, why not bring back the car chit chat and have a conversation with y'all so that I can just break down this knowledge? Because like I said, fourth quarter is like already done. And so let's go ahead and hop into it. And I'm going to walk you through 4 different things that I would do right now if I was launching a digital product moving into 2025. That is simple. All right. Hey, great day, y'all. So the first thing that I would do if I was launching a digital product from scratch is I would show off, specifically build brand authority. You want to show that you are the expert. And so the way that that would look is I would go on Instagram, for example, or any social media platform. I would come over here on YouTube and I would talk about what I'm really passionate about, how I can transform someone, if I've worked with someone in this space before in terms of like what my digital product is, even if it's a simple ebook. I would just outright talk about the things that I've helped other people do. And so what I find is that entrepreneurs have a really hard time, especially those who are service providers. They have a really hard time bragging on themselves. And so, for example, my very first downloadable checklist that was like $20 was on how to help therapists build out profitable systems in their private practice. And my checklist really included like startup. And I still have that ebook to today. It just has grew into something else. And so part of it was simply like a checklist, because you never want to assume that people know beyond a tax ID, or heck, even a tax ID, that you want to get that stuff in order if you're serious about having a business. But when it came down to even talking about taxes, I'm not a financial fiduciary. But part of my checklist would be, have you consulted with a professional tax person or CPA, not TurboTax, right? So that you can take a look at what are the expectations for money coming in and what are some of the things that you want to take into account right now for finances. So I started off with a simple checklist, and it gave people a transformation for helping them get their ducks in order to start their private practice journey. Now, of course, the way I would show up online is I may give them a sneak peek. So let's just say if the checklist was 50 items in like 5 categories, so let's just say it was 10 check boxes or whatnot, then I may choose 1 or 2 of those check boxes, like the juiciest ones or the ones that are going to get people's attention faster. And then I would talk about those online. Now get this, less is more. So when I say talk about it online, I'm not going to talk about 10 of them all at the same time. I may only talk about 1. That gives me 10 pieces of individual content. I'm going to give them a teaser so that they go and buy the checklist to get the whole thing. So I would just show up online. If you already have an email list or you have a blog or something like that, then talk to your audience. You want to build relationship so that somebody can know, like, and trust you in the space that you are taking them in. And the reason I say it that way is because if you are a service provider, which is majority of my clients, you may assume that you're going to market your digital product in the same way that you do your services. And let me just kill that right now. You have to remember that your services includes one big thing that your simple digital product does not: you. So if they don't get you, you have to be very creative with how you're going to help somebody get the transformation when you're not there. Okay. So show off. Now, the second thing that I would do is I would start gathering interest. And so you can do this in a variety of ways. One way, if you have a social media or online following, is you can simply talk to the same people that you're showing off, with, or to, and then you can ask them questions. You can do polls on your post, in your stories. You can tell people to comment. If you send out emails, you can tell people to reply back. If you go live, you can actually engage with people and ask them to comment back right then and there. Or if you're on YouTube, tell them to comment back and you still read the comments later. You can also invite people, depending on the type of services for digital products that you have. If it's like coaching, you can invite people to like a Zoom one-on-one chit chat. If it is like an ebook or something, I would not do that because that doesn't equate to your time. Unless you are using it for research purposes to help you build out your digital product, then that's different. But we're not talking about that right now. So you can send people to, let's just say, an information session. Maybe you want to have something on a small scale of a webinar, but you do it on a live stream. And then your call to action throughout the live stream and at the end is if they've liked that information that you've presented, but again, they want the whole pie, they want the whole cake, then all they have to do is follow your instructions and get on the link. But in phase 2, it's really going to be about your ability to take your brand authority at this point and your expertise out there online. And now you are putting people into your ecosystem. So in the first phase, you're really only talking to the masses. In the second phase, your goal is to start attracting the exact people that are good for, like, a good match for buying your product. So you can do Zoom information sessions, you can do live streams, you can do polls if you have email marketing. You can also have people sign up on a wait list, so that way when whatever you have is dropping, maybe they are the first ones to know. Maybe they get VIP access or something extra. All right, in phase 3, what I would do is go ahead and put it on sale. Now, what I also would do is keep in mind that if this is your very first digital product, you want to be able to put your digital product in a place that you're going to grow with over time. Now, the cool part about digital products is even if you moved platforms, it's a download. So all you have to do is move your download somewhere else versus a course, right? But we're talking about simple digital downloads, digital products, and things like that, where it's like a one sale and done. It's not I'm going to say like a continuation of a service, right? So you can use places like Stand Store. If you want to do a trial with Stand Store for completely free, then feel free to use my link in the show notes or in the description box. But I use Stand Store. I teach to Stand Store. I've created a video on my YouTube channel. I'll link that below for Stand Store because it is very simple. And I'm not going to lie, I wish that Stand Store was created when I first did digital products because it has everything you need for a very low price, like simple email marketing, landing pages, tracking your sales, collecting different types of payments, Stripe, PayPal. They have 2 levels. You can add courses, course shells, simple downloads. It's just like an easy fix for those people who are in the beginning phases of a digital product journey, or maybe you are not, but you're looking for a place to house your digital products. Okay. So the third phase is all about the sales. And so what I would prefer that you do as a digital product mentor is that, you should pull out a sheet of paper, and you don't have to be a funnel builder to decide on how people are going to get their hands on your product. And so I just want you to visualize what people need to do to get access to it. So just do in order. What do they need to see first? And then what do you want them to see last? So for example, going off the top of my head, because I've been doing this for years, the first thing I would want somebody to see is some type of sales mechanism, where it be an email, whether it be a DM, auto bot DM, like comment this word and I send them the link, or some type of post or something, right, or a live. So they see some type of marketing mechanism. Then it takes them to the checkout page. I don't want to have any fluff these days of sending them to 4 different pages. The only time that somebody will typically, for me, go to a longer landing page is when it's a higher investment coaching program, because I need them to make sure that this is the right fit for them, because typically it's an ongoing either individual or group relationship. But ebooks and guides aren't like that. They buy it and then they're done, but then they stay on your email list and you can link them with other resources, right? So make it very simple. Stand Store gives you the ability to make a very short sales page unless you use another platform, which is fine. And my landing page is going to be very simple. I'm going to focus on, in the beginning, what is the transformation that they can expect when they purchase the product. I don't want to spend time talking about me. I actually, on my digital product downloads, don't talk about me at all. It may not even be a picture of me on the thumbnail of the product. It's just the picture of the ebook. Okay. And so let's just say they go down to the bottom, then they buy the ebook. So I have to understand my pricing. And what's nice is you can change your pricing at any time. So I can go on Stan Store and I can say, okay, today I want it to be $10. Tomorrow I want it to go back up to $97. You can run specials because there's no payment plan per se for a digital product. And then once they buy, then what happens? So write out all of this. Okay. Once they buy, the idea would be that you check the system that you're using to understand what they get after they buy your product. The last thing you want to do is have somebody buy a product and then they tell you they didn't get something or they don't understand where something is, and you don't even know what it looks like from the consumer side. So you either can do one of two things. You can either just map out the system and just watch the first sale come through and work your way through tweaks as you can, right? And or you can do a test run of a sale. So Stan Store, as of right now, as I'm recording this, they don't, I believe, have the ability to test out a sale where you don't have to put in a real credit card number. So when I've been on platforms like this in the past, what I've done is I've bought the product down to like $1. And then I don't refund myself. I just purchased the product for $1. But what I'm looking at is the sales process. What do I go to at the end? Do I get 2 receipts, 1 receipt? How does my digital download come? What does it look like? And you want to videotape all this or take snapshots of the screen, especially if you have a team member. So that way, if somebody says, oh, I didn't get the download, well, maybe they didn't scroll down to the bottom of the email. Or maybe somebody tries to link or click the link to the download like 60 days later. Well, the download expired in 7 days. But if you knew that ahead of time, you can actually put in their confirmation receipt, please note, or even on sales page, you have 7 days, you have 14 days to access your download. And typically on a customer service side, when someone does email us and tell us that they did not receive it, we ask them simply to forward us the receipt. We share with them how to find it. And if they still cannot find it and it shows proof that they actually purchased the product, then my team will just upload the PDF to the email and send it over to them. It's that simple, right? Do not make this complex. Don't overthink it. They would have got access to the PDF anyway. Don't start saying things like, oh my God, I'm emailing my intellectual property. At the end of the day, if somebody's going to share your stuff, they're going to share your stuff without your knowledge. Okay. So sell your product. So you want to know from beginning to end, what is the customer's experience? Do not just focus on you reaching your sales goal and forget about the customer. Okay. Do you want to send them follow-up emails to ask them how it went? Do you want them to rate the product? Now, with rating the product, you do want to take in consideration how long you think somebody's going to take a look at your product or even see if it looks good to then be able to give you adequate feedback. And note that you may have to send more than one little nudge for people to give you feedback. Now, lastly, in phase 4, it's considered debriefing. In the beginning phase, I would definitely be tracking my metrics, my data in terms of how is each piece of marketing performing? Did one piece of marketing do better than the other? Because whatever is working, especially these days online, you want to keep repeating it until it don't work no more. Okay. And so if one particular sound worked, do the sound again. I see people using the same sound for a whole year, right? Even if it ain't trending, they still do it because now people know that when they hear that sound, they think of that creator, right? Maybe a certain style of how you did a video or a reel or a short or a TikTok video, it meshed well with your ideal audience and you saw ROI with people actually commenting back, wanting you to send them the link or clicking the link to be able to purchase, right? So track your metrics. Also look at your data in terms of from when people, let's just say, got on your wait list, how long did it take them to actually purchase your product? That's something really good that people miss because you do want to learn what is the probability of how long it takes somebody to buy my product. We know that data for our digital products and for our courses. And see, this is where the benefit of email marketing comes into play, is that your email marketing can tell you if you know how to tag people in your email marketing system. Basically, let's just say if you got access to my private practice checklist, and let's just say I did that checklist only for third quarter last year. I would put the date next to the tag. So if you have that tag with that date next to your name, I knew when you came on my list, or I can just look at the first email you got and say, hey, they got their first download on my list, at least with this email address, because some people got multiple email addresses, right? So everything is not perfect, but you do want to be able to look at certain data metrics to be able to track how well your marketing is performing. And after you've tracked it for a while, you'll get your rhythm, and it may not have to be every week, or you can have somebody else do it every week. Maybe it turns into every month, right? But bottom line is, do not take a pulse off your business. Don't just delegate it to someone else and say, I just hope I get sales this month. No, you should be making goals every month or every quarter. Like maybe the first quarter, your goal is to build out your systems, build out the ebook and launch it. Like launch it in 90 days, right? Don't be sitting on no ebook for like 5 months. Okay. Do also one phase at a time. If you want to do a physical book, ask yourself, do they need the physical book in order to process the ebook, or do they go hand in hand? Because everybody's, product is different. And so depending on your product, you can make that choice. But I know a lot of my clients, a good amount of them sit on their digital product because they're trying to also build a coaching program at the same time. And I'm like, have you ever thought that maybe your digital product leads to your coaching program? So you want people to start consuming your content as quickly as possible so that when you do say, hey, my coaching program is available, now they got to slow down and build trust with you for like another 90 days. Now you've prolonged their journey for freaking 6 months, right? So you do want to debrief your launches. Okay, so as a recap, okay, we've talked about technically the 4 launch phases and how I would launch a simple digital product into 2025. Now, if you are a therapist, a healer, a social worker, a coach, and you want to take a percentage of what you're doing one-on-one and flip that knowledge even from your degree, it doesn't have to even be from your current job or private practice right now, but we have a breadth of experience, right? And when I say we, I'm a service provider. And so if you want to take a small percentage of what you know and then be able to transform somebody's life or part of their life or career or business or whatever you want to work with them on in your area of specialty into a digital product, then I want you to go down to the description box and I want you to sign up for the Align Marketing Academy. We just opened up a second tier to the program. What that means is that for those people who've been watching people join this program, get results, me talk about the benefits of digital product, profitability, and leveraging your time more, some people may feel like they need to test drive the car. And so I'm giving you the opportunity to come in at a monthly membership to get access to our materials, get access to our monthly masterclasses live stream, get access to our community where you can ask questions and start launching your digital product. So bottom line is there are no excuses at this point. It is about to be December at the time of this recording in 2 days. All gas, no brakes. If you want to leverage your time, what are you waiting on? And so sign up for the Align Marketing Academy. If you have any questions or tell me your biggest aha moment at the end of this video, down below in the comment box. I love talking to y'all after I publish these videos, and I will talk to y'all either in the next car chit chat or potentially in a vlog. I'm not sure, but I'll see y'all later. Bye.
Funny how the story goes, little hope but bigger dreams.